However, there is that underpinning or the underlying sentiment from Phil Spencer from the very beginning of like, how do we greenlight the most games overall, and give those developers a platform to actually put them out somewhere, because a lot of those bigger bets that are being made aren't paying off. And with, like we've said on every bit of news and every pod and everything for the last month or so, a couple of months, that there are so many layoffs, and the number of layoffs is over 10,000 now. Like, it's ludicrous. And so I wonder how much this almost has to be the future of gaming. However, the conversation then is like, well, what production level can you do with this model? And like, would you ever get a Last of Us and a GTA 6 or whatever? Like, the third parties maybe take care of that and they don't care. But I mean, there's some of the fallout when we saw Indiana Jones in motion was like, well, that doesn't look like it's on par with a new gen thing, but maybe it either can't be or doesn't need to be.
Speculation, of course, but I think making those games multi-platform does make it more likely that those production values will remain high or go higher, because I think they are probably looking at the bottom line and saying, if we spend $300 million to make an Indiana Jones game, it's just not going to be justifiable in any sense to then release that straight away on Game Pass, lose out on those sales, and just hope we get the engagement and we can make it up in subscriptions. I just don't think it's going to cut it for games of that budget. So I imagine in their eyes they're looking at the potential revenue from these different markets and saying, look, if the future is still going to be, at least in part, these hugely lavish games, we need to get the money in from somewhere, and we need to do it in a way that doesn't just completely bin off the idea of Game Pass and that part of our revenue. So